sharing a little bit of what has happened so that all of you visiting us or spending time with us for the first time can also kind of see what we have done. So we have been running this course now with a very international group of students, issues for the past 8 weeks, or this is now our 8th week. We have been meeting 3 times a week for exploring the problems that we got from real organizations, listening to inspiration sessions from social entrepreneurs and other people with relevant expertise. Then our student teams have been, or participant teams, we have also participants who are not students, have been, coming up with ideas, thinking about the problem, prototyping their ideas and testing them, meeting with the partners and the real users. And a lot of work has been done in teams over Teams, Microsoft Teams, and just figuring stuff out together. Most of the students didn't know each other. We're come from quite a wide range of expertise and backgrounds. We have been our topic was poverty and fighting poverty, and with the help of human-centered design and with the aim of having a social enterprise at the as a solution to those problems. Here the stars are showing where our stars, meaning our participants, came from. We had a little over 30 participants from almost everywhere in the world. We're missing people from North America, and Australia, but other than that, I think we have a quite a global network. Some of these people are studying somewhere else than their home country, but anyway, so lots of different experiences and knowledge in the group. Our challenges also came from quite a wide range, as you will hear. They came from Nepal, Suriname, Ukraine, Russia, and Romania, from organizations working there and dealing with issues of poverty. And what's going to happen today is that we will have 7 presentations from our teams. We will have 4 presentations first, then we'll take a little break, and the other 3 then after that. And our presentations will, all right, there we go. Our presentations will take about, will take 2 minutes, sorry. Lots of people still joining us. That's good. So we will have 4 minutes to do the presentation and then another 4 minutes to ask questions. And we have over 50 people online already, I think. So let's see how the asking questions part will work. Maybe raise your hand with the raise hand icon, and then I will try to see who has a question, and then you can ask that question. But once that 4 minutes for questions is gone, we'll move to the next presentation so that we're not here for the whole evening. After all those presentations, there will be time to go and meet with the teams, so we can then the teams will go go to their own channels, and you can join them there if you have specific questions for a particular theme, for example. So that's going to happen after all the presentations are done. All right. Sushant, Ulla-Maija, do you want to add something before we get going? All right. So how do we figure out who's going to present first?
Okay, so we have a system for that. I will show you what is the system. This is like really scientifically tested system. So do you see these things here? There are 7 different things here. Each of them is for one of the teams. So do you want to choose the first one, Janne, and I will tell who is the team to start?
All right,
Can you see?
So what do we have there? There's a heart. And,
yeah, there's a heart. Then there's a ball. Then there is this. I don't know if you can see. I can show you actually like this. So we have no, you couldn't see the number. Oh shit. there's a star. We have this gingerbread teddy bear here. Ball. Heart. Then we have a really tiny mummy from Finland. We have this really traditional Santa's Little Helper made by wood. And then we have this mistletoe tree thing, you know, that you can put here and have lots of kisses. So.
All right, let's start with the gingerbread man.
Gingerbread man. All right. So gingerbread man is for team number 1.
All right. So team 1, please get your presentation thing in.
I'm going to share my screen first before the time starts.
Okay.
And Janne, will you be doing the timing?
I will. So
all
after right. 4 minutes, I will say time, and then that's the time for asking questions.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, then I'm gonna start.
All right, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I want to introduce you into our project through the story of Kalu. This is Kalu. She is 82 and she lives in Suriname. As you can see, she has some severe medical issues. So what happens in Suriname is that not a lot of people like Kalu can pay for or have medical insurance. So they therefore can't pay for the medical aids or gear they need to be able to walk, move, live, and go on again. What struck us the most in her story, and she is not the only one, is that Kalu had to look for sponsorship through social media to get money for buying her wheelchair, for example. So this is her message. It's in Dutch, though. But this story led us to our main question: how might we improve access to medical aids? To shortly present you our team, this is a picture of our team. And on the left side, you can see our contact person, Ruby Chinafat, who is a physiotherapist in Suriname. Through several discussions with her, we especially zoomed in on the problem of orthosis. So orthosis is an externally applied device designed and fitted to the body, which reduces pain and increases mobility and independence. And the problem related to orthosis in Suriname is that as there is no one or no company who produces these products, they have to be imported from the USA or Europe, which is very expensive. People, definitely those without insurance, can't pay for this. Also, there is no awareness and no knowledge concerning the production process of orthosis. So to quickly take you into our thought process, and then Ariana will take over to discuss our solution. We wanted to create opportunities for knowledge and skill transfer concerning the production process to eventually produce orthoses in Suriname, to make them cheaper and accessible, and quality of life of people with disabilities.
So where do we actually start? Our first step in this project consists of providing students an immersive learning experience with both online and offline courses. For this reason, we're currently reaching out to different companies in Belgium involved in the production of prostheses, so that they will help us in outlining our course program and hopefully be the instructors as well. Once the knowledge is transferred, students will be able to produce orthoses in Suriname, and as a consequence, more job opportunities will be created and cheaper and more accessible prostheses for the broader population. All of this will, of course, come with some expenses concerning the workshops and the production, with the instructors' salaries, materials needed, and the platform that will be used. However, we are still in the process of clearly defining the different expenses that we will encounter. For what concerns the revenues, of course, as a start, we are hoping to get financial help from companies that are already working in this field. Then the main revenues will come from students who will pay a minimum fee to access the course and from the sales of the prostheses. For students who will not be able to pay the course, we decided to create a sort of a loan system, which means that they will pay us back once they get employed. We are currently in contact with several potential partners, such as the University of Suriname and FabLab, and companies related to orthosis in Europe, being Bigo, Actor, and ISPO. We also got in contact with Professor Patrick Seges from the Biomedical Engineering faculty of the University of Ghent, who gave us contacts to reach out to, and that we're currently in contact with. So what's the impact of all of this? By doing so, we want to be able to provide students with new learning opportunities and new international connections, make orthosis cheaper and more accessible. And this will allow more people to move again, to participate in social activities. In other words, create more independence and inclusion in the society, and therefore put more smiles on people's faces, like Kalu's face. Thank you for listening.
Perfect timing. All right. Have any questions or comments for team one? Yeah, go ahead. Anybody have a question? Yeah, Therese, want to start?
I'm just asking, did you all at all link with the Ministry of Health in Suriname? I'm asking because as a former Minister of Health in Trinidad and Tobago, which is in the CARICOM, I would know that for any such project to be implemented, you would need to get the Ministry of Health of the CARICOM country on board as well. So it would be useful to link with the Ministry of Health in this project. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Thanks. Isabel?
Hello, can you clarify a bit more on the end user or the customer? Is that the same, the end user and the customer for you?
Yeah, so shall I start?
So
yeah, for us right now, we are focusing on, since we have already mentioned in our presentation that there are no skills there, so there is no, there are nobody who are actually producing orthoses for the all the orthoses that are in demand right there. So what we have initially thought is we'll provide some trainings, bringing in the experts from the companies, and build some skills and knowledge around orthosis production in the students, primarily engineering and medical students. Once they are able to produce some basic orthoses, we plan to start the production process. So primarily, there are two sets of customers. One is students to whom we offer the classes and courses, the introductory courses on orthosis production. The second segment is the lower income group people who are not able to afford the orthoses that are imported from other countries. So those are our primary customer segments.
Okay, thank you.
all right. Ruby?
Yes, thank you, Team One. Really, really nice presentation. Really loved everything about it. But I want to ask, can you go a little bit deeper into the training? Is it mostly theoretical or practical? And yes, how will you guide the practical parts?
Yeah,
because making orthosis is very practical.
Yes, So far, since we do not have anybody expert in our team from this sector, honestly speaking, we are reaching out to these people from companies and different universities, like Patrick we mentioned in the presentation. For the courses, we plan to do some sort of blended learning workshops. Some classes will be online. For the theoretical part, we plan to do it online, and so for some experiments, there would be some sort of guided experiments that we can think of right now. And maybe hopefully we'll have some instructor there as well, who'll also in-person guide students. So yeah, right now that's what is in the plan.
Actually, can I add something?
Yeah, please.
That we have this plan to actually co-create the content with specialists we are now in contact with. So we want to co-create content of this program and then figure out what will be the practical part and the theoretical part. We are also in contact with a PhD student from the University of Ghent who wrote a thesis about the production process of orthosis. So yeah, this is all in the progress for now.
All right. Thank you, Team 1. Mira, can you pick the next object?
For sure. I want a thing that you put on your head to make out.
All right, the mistletoe.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, this one. Okay, then it's team number 8.
Yes, that's me. Let me share my screen. Can you just quickly tell me if you see it?
Yes.
All right, then you can put on the timer.
All right.
Hello, everyone. This presentation will take 4 minutes. In these 4 minutes, over 100 people would have been forced to leave their homes, leaving everything behind. Let us take you on a journey where we explore the lives of asylum seekers and how we would want to help them. Our journey started when we talked to Geert, an employee from FEDESOL, which is the Federal Agency for the Reception of Asylum Seekers of Belgium, and Jeffrey, an occupational therapist. From the conversations, we learned about asylum seekers. We all think we know the stories, but imagine the following. A girl from 15 years old, traveling all alone from, let's say, Afghanistan to Belgium. That's shocking, right? She arrives in Belgium and she faces culture shock, a language barrier, inability to work, little income, and other issues, all while having pressure from her family back home to send money. She, like all asylum seekers, dreams of building a life and a home in Belgium and supporting the family she left behind. Exactly for this reason, we created a social platform called Welkom Vriend, which means welcome friend in English. We figured that most of the barriers asylum seekers face limit their integration into Belgian society. By helping them make social connections, they can integrate faster and build a better life for themselves. Our solution creates impact in multiple ways. It will connect you with the persons you need, or you can look for them and reach out to them yourself. Belgian citizens, organizations, and asylum seekers will meet in social, sports, work, or culturally related activities. Need someone to drink a cup of coffee with? Do you have an open spot in your running club? Do you want to learn Dutch? Or can you offer an internship? Just post it on Welkom Vriend. We will speed up the integration process of asylum seekers while offering Belgian organizations and citizens a way to do a good deed. Our business model is quite simple. We have come up with sources of revenue to get funds for the costs we have to cover. We will start by saying that even though the platform is created for asylum seekers, these people are not seen as our customers. Our customers are all the people and organizations that benefit from our platform in a different way. We create value for our stakeholders in various ways. Organizations can fulfill their corporate social responsibility, advertising companies can reach a growing segment of the society, and finally, our main customers are Belgian citizens. We create value for them by allowing them to contribute to a good cause, make new social connections, learn things, earn vouchers for our partner organizations, and obtain a certificate of their participation. In this way, they bring revenue for us through ads, subscriptions, sales, and donations. We will also explore getting funding from the government or the EU. The costs we will have to cover are costs to maintain and develop the website and app, advertising, employees, organizing activities and workshops, and rent. An important thing to note is that asylum seekers won't have to pay for the platform. We have to control fraud with this, and that is why asylum seekers can only sign up for the platform via Fedisil. Finally, any money that is left over will be invested in the growth of the platform or donated to one of our partner charities. Our main vision is to make asylum seekers comfortable in their new home, and through Welkom Vriend, we believe we can do this. To join us, you have to stay tuned. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. Questions, comments? Nobody has any questions? All right, Levin.
Yes, hello, thank you. I have a question about the marketing. How will your customers discover your service?
That is a good question. We were thinking of, to start, basically you have to start small. So probably we will ask Fedisil for this because they have a lot of volunteers already working at their company, so to say, their organizations. And we were thinking that we would start with that, reach out to those volunteers. Maybe they would sign up for the platform and then they could get it into their social circles. And the more we grow, the more money we will have. So maybe we can do some advertising or setting up a campaign, something like that. But we haven't dived deep into that. So that's a very good question. Thank you.
All right, any others? Or any other helpful nudges forward?
Tips, tricks, anything.
Yeah, Isabel?
The presentation was very clear to me, but it would be helpful to clarify a bit on why do you need that rent and how do you see that?
Yeah, those are kind of like steps for more in the future, because as of now, this is when you set it up, it can be done by like one person. But let's say if the platform will grow, you may need more employees. So you may need to rent a place for your employees, but also the rent refers to, so let's say I want to give a workshop to learn people how to speak Dutch. I can reach out to the platform and ask if there's a way for me to go into a space that the platform already rents, or I can ask for funding. And with that funding, they can rent a place like that.
All right, Luca, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. So my question is, you did the development online. Is there a solution for someone who doesn't have access to the internet? Thank you.
Most is online, especially because we believe that's the best way to connect the contact persons, the customers, I mean. We have checked, and most of the places from Fedisil offer computers or phones for the people that are there, so they can access it. For people that don't have access to the internet, it will probably be harder, but that is something that we can look into, try and figure out a way for them to participate as well. So thank you.
All right, Therese?
Just a question. In the beginning slide, I saw flags of different countries up. How did you select those flags? Because I saw my country's flag up, so that got me curious.
Nice. Those were actually the flags of me and my teammates. The bigger flags were from our countries of origin, and then the smaller flags were for two of the girls who now live in Belgium.
So you have someone from Trinidad and Tobago then?
We do.
Okay, interested. Okay, thank you.
She couldn't make it to the meeting.
All right, thank you very much. Tamira, do you want to select the next object?
Yes, please. What did you say? It was a tiny mug?
Yes, that's Mumis, from Finland. See?
Oh,
It's really
wow.
small one. And here, making another snowball.
Oh, super nice. Yeah, I want that one for sure.
And this is for team number 3.
All right, third presenting, team number 3.
Yes, that makes it me. Let me share my slides. Okay, can you see it in full
Yes.
screen?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I am going to tell you about our social enterprise project named Cross the Gap, with the name the Cross the Gap, with the focus on the gap between parents and the teacher. We, as a team of 4 people, Claire, Daryl, Mianes, and as myself, Zeynep, under the roof of Arte in the course of creating a social enterprise for fighting with poverty, and trained by coaches from Nepal and Finland on design thinking. At the beginning of the course, we were given a challenge of a community from Romania, which is an Eastern European country. And here you can see the real pictures from that community. Romania has almost 20 million population, and 3.3% of it are Gypsy people, as one of the largest minorities in Romania. The community we are notified about was also a close Gypsy community living in a small village. They are almost 900 people at total, and 140 of them are students. The students were the primary concern of our challenge because the child poverty is at its peak in Romania, which affects their future. The teacher of the school from that village informed us about the situation. Although they were trying to reach out to families, they were failing to interact with them to promote education. Because the poverty is there and the families are focused on farming, which consequently decrease their interest in education of children. To find a solution, it was obvious to create a bridge between the families and the school. But this bridge had to have a social and enterprise parts, because this is a social problem rooted from economic issues. We believe that if the school addresses their economic issues, they would be inevitably will interact with the school and the education of their children. Next. For that resolution, we have 3 stakeholders. Cross, to organize the trainings and marketing to dismiss poverty, the school to provide the environment and human source to support, and the community to participate with their abilities and products. As follows is diagrammed here, the community will be going to school to take trainings on how to improve production process and marketing. And as an expected result, there will have increased quality and quantity of the products to sell. Here, the Cross will be organizing all those trainings, production, and marketing phases. To sum up, we see that with these 3 stakeholders, we can create an interaction between families and schools, which was our main problem at the beginning. We believe that the immediate outcome will be increased financial studies of the families of those students living in that village. The closer communication and the connection between parents and the school will be created because all the trainings and information to go out from poverty is happening and at the school environment. And in a little bit later of this project begin, we will believe that it will impact the education for the community, especially the next generation. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments?
No one? Or
all right, Isabel has always a question.
I can wait till there is another question.
That's all right. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Interesting. I'm very interested in your stakeholders. And I wonder if you have like similar projects there within the same context, or if you have information about competitors.
We know that there are villages in the same position, but we didn't came to know about a project similar to ours, like in a solution manner. Mostly they are just projects to facilitate to village economically, just like a donation, and then just living the community, not just like creating an organization, a living organization in the community.
Okay. And from your perspective, who will pay for the solution then?
The solution will be at first, we thought that the government will be supporting us because we are working with this school, and the school is already part of the government, supported by the government. And then after that, we said that there will be a marketing of the products that has been sold. And we are thinking that there might be a revenue from there. There might be an income from that production.
Okay, thank you.
But I also want to add something to that because UNESCO also provides grants for education projects. So we will be partnering with them as well. So they can actually give us some grant for the project.
Thank you.
All right, other questions or other hints, other helping hands? All right, if not, we can move forward. Zeynep, would you want to choose the next object?
Yes, I want the heart.
Always a good choice. Go for the heart.
Thank you.
So it's team number 6.
Hello everyone. Can everyone see the presentation, the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. I just need to turn off my mic. Am I audible?
Yes. Go ahead.
Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Namaste everyone, we are group Dalit webinar. We'd like to introduce you to Manuka, a Dalit woman from Apsawara village in Nepal, sharing her craft knowledge in courses with visitors before the pandemic, and you'll get to know more about her life circumstances and the circumstances of the Dalit community in Nepal. This is next slide. This is our team behind the Nepal-based social enterprise, and the team members are Christine, me, myself, Manisha, Omar, and Verena. Nepal is a developing country full of diversity, including 101 ethnic groups, and over 92 languages are spoken. Nepalese society is a patriarchal society, and the economy is largely dependent on agriculture and remittance. According to UN Report 2020, Nepal still experiences caste-based discrimination even though it has been forbidden by law. There are numerous taboos in Nepal, and one of them are Dalit community who are facing caste-based discrimination. They are also called untouchables, and within this group, women and girls are even more marginalized and experience early child marriages, dropping schools, gender-based abortion for fear of high dowry, violence and sexual abuse. Impact of this caste-based discrimination is on the health, education, agriculture, and economic development. The earning made by the male members is not enough for them for their livelihood. Now the Dalit women have all the responsibility, and they have been trying to get involved in some of the production works. So we have come up with the idea of Dalit webinar.
Now, the idea of our enterprise are based on these key resources. Now, we consider that the cultural knowledge of the Dalit community as their hidden gems and their strengths. Now, learning about Nepali and Dalit culture, learning about arts, crafts, and passing on this knowledge in courses is already an activity by some Dalit communities. We as a group are convinced that there is a market and a community outside of Nepal that wants to expand their knowledge and support the Dalit cause. These are the channels we plan to use and the content we are creating. First of all, we would like to start with 2 craft webinars on the Facebook page and follow up with stories about the communities. Then we will follow up with a professionally designed website, and once these platforms are established, they can be expanded, for example, with a shop of local products. We estimate that within 2 years, we would have 30 webinars and tutorials that could be sold for each $60 that give an annual revenue of $54,000. The Dalit webinar platform would take a 10% fee, and the rest of the money will go directly back to the communities and into previously defined projects. For example, in Manuka's village, which is associated with the hands-on institute that helped set up Dalit homestays for tourists. Through the additional revenue stream gained, the community can benefit to pay for education or skill growth that will help them with their immediate goals as communities. Our key partners, the organizations working with the Dalit community, will have an international platform which will bring attention to their projects and thus receive a wider audience. The marginalized community will receive a sense of value and a sense of belonging in Nepali society. Now, how can you support us? You can support us by donating the estimated initial $2,000 of seed money to get the first 2 tutorials made and earn the first revenue. Of course, you can always contact us if you are working with the marginalized community to collaborate on a further base. Now, last but not least, I would like to formally invite you to join us on our live Facebook launch event with a tutorial on clay ornaments and to also learn more about Manuka's life and her particular set of skills. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to sharing this incredible journey with you.
Thank you. All right, questions, comments? Yeah, there is.
Okay, I'm just asking, how are you planning to really earn funds via the webinar? There's so many free webinars out there now. What is the key success factor you think your webinar would have that people are willing to pay to access it?
Yes, that's a really good question, and we really thought about it hard, and we also established like a mock website, and we started asking around people that we know, and we also sourced how much would they pay for it, and this is what we came up with. It would not just be people who are just interested in crafts. It would be people that really are interested in Nepal and supporting a social cause, as well as learning about new crafts. So we do think there is a market and people who are willing to do it, but it's clear that we first need to create a community. But some of the organizations like the Hands-On Institute, they already did courses live, but now because of the pandemic, people can't travel there. So they already have a community and a list and an email list of people that might be helping to start such a community.
Okay, other questions? Yeah, Matthias?
Hi, everybody. First of all, thanks for the really nice presentation. I have a question because let's say the price you've been setting is correct and people pay for this, especially also because they see maybe the good cause in addition to the learning they get. From my understanding, you've been saying that there is 10% going into the platform and platform development and that work you're doing at operative and strategic levels, and 90% goes into the community, which is great for the social impact. But did you do any calculations if these 10% are really sufficient for you to run the platform and then also to create the webinars professionally?
Yes, we did a business we did some calculations. I don't know if you want to see them, but yeah, we tried to do that, and we're based, because we're a Nepal-based organization, it would be according to Nepali wages. So I think maybe that's one would answer your question.
Yeah, and I would like to add Verena's reply that in the beginning we want to really start in a very humble way. For example, we plan for the first year to not invest money on an actual webinar platform, but first build this community, and then, for example, upload on YouTube on a private way, because yeah, YouTube is free of charges. And then the more we build up on the project, the more we can invest on this website at the end of the first year, for example.
Thank you. The explanation that you're building on the Nepali workforce, I think this clarifies and helps. Thank you.
We have time for a quick question. All right, nobody believes that they have a quick question. Maybe that's the way of these things. All right, flying the flag there, Ulla-Maija. All right, we've had 4 presentations. I think it's time to take a small break so that we can all concentrate for the rest of the presentation. So let's take a 10-minute break and then we will continue here. So we will continue at 5:43 CET. Yes. right, welcome back. It's a shame that you weren't able to have a chit chat during the break with the person sitting next to you, or maybe you did. All right, do we have the participants back so that we can continue with the presentations? So we have 3 more left, and then we can go into discussions. All right. Who is going to pick the next object?
I think Christina, because she was doing the presentation.
All right, Christine.
Yes.
What do we have left? A star.
Ball, yeah, star, ball, and then the Santa's little helper.
I want the little helper.
Of course. And this one is for team number 4.
All right, team 4. All right, looks good. Is somebody going to speak? We can't hear you.
Oh, I was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I've already started.
All right, start again, please.
Okay, so we're Team 4, otherwise known as Team Rhynok, and Rhynok means market in Russian. So we had the opportunity to work with young people with a brain injury in Perm, which is a city in Russia, and we came up with a...
You're muted again. Robbie, you're muted again.
Okay, third time is the charm. So, we are Team 4, if you didn't already know, and we are Team Rhynok, which means market in Russian. And we had the opportunity to work with young people with a brain injury in Perm, which is a city in Russia. So who are we exactly? We are various group of students who study various courses like business, environmental languages, and nursing. So it was really a brew of many ideas and many specialities. So who is our target person? It's Dimitri. Dimitri is a recent graduate of chemical engineering who just had a traumatic accident which resulted in paralysis of the left side of his body. He has to go to the city of comprehensive rehabilitation in Perm, and there he just goes into 4 weeks of basic training and like writing a CV. But once he gets home, he gets back to his small village, he feels unmotivated and he's unable to find employment or educational opportunities. So he kind of loses hope, and we want to change that. How are we going to change that? It's with Care Market. Care Market is a supermarket based in the modern center of Perm, which actually employs disabled people, only disabled people, except the managers, of course, or people overseeing it, and we work with the center. So why do we choose such a concept? Is because of the economics and sustainability it can provide, because the market can run on its own. It is a social network because the center and the market actually work together, and it provides financial independence for the people that actually need it the most, those young people with a brain injury that can't get a job. We want to provide educational and job opportunities. We want to raise awareness that those people can work, that those people have lots of value to offer into that region, and we have involvement of private organizations and government and NGOs that really want to support this idea. So how will it work? In the center, there always come new people. They get a course of 3-4 weeks, and those people, they get the opportunity to grow products, to harvest crops, and those crops will be sold into the supermarket. The supermarket takes care of the transportation, and everything will be running smoothly. So in the supermarket, people are actually working from the center that are discharged, that are no longer able to get a rehabilitation, get some help of some kind. So we really recruit those people. The people in the supermarket can then share their experiences with the people, the new people that maybe feel unmotivated, and they really get to speak, and we build a social network of people who work and can show like, oh, this worked for me, this worked for me. We are online and offline. We really want to be presentable. We tape those experiences. We make it on YouTube. We make it available everywhere we can. Oh, excuse me, we can. What are our strengths? We are financially sustainable, as I already said. So the market will be normally it should be running quite good, and we should sell our products. We are unique to Perm. We are the first to the market. We have a proven useful in many other countries. Such concepts already exist. So we are also very authentic in our way with approaching it, because we use those local products. We really use local labor. We really want to provide an authentic environment around our shop. How are we actually going to finance and fund this? We have the involvement of donations, of the church and NGOs. We have membership fees. And we have government involvement in in-store and online sales.
That's 4 minutes. Any questions? Any questions or comments? I can always count on Isabel. Thank you. Go on.
I'm very happy with this presentation because I like the idea. But to elaborate a bit on the finance of it, it's not that clear how you see the funding of the government and the payment of the customer. Can you elaborate a bit on this for me?
Yes, well, I didn't really have that much time left to present it anymore, but it's basically religion is very strong in the region, and we already have some NGOs and volunteering people that collect donations for those kind of people, and we would really want to ask them to help. And then of course we have governmental support that comes from the center part, and we have some funding as well from other NGOs that kind of do similar work. There is actually a shop or two with entrepreneurs in the region already, so they can actually tell us how they got their funding for their shop. So normally it should be up and running through all kinds of private or either governmental support. Okay. But you try to do it privately.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Other comments or questions?
Janne, there's a question from Milana.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're in the chat.
Yeah, but can you say that yourself, Milana?
Right. Can you read it if Milana is not able to?
Yeah, I think Milana is asking like, so what are your plans because of the winter? I think, are you asking Milana that there is not like vegetables and things like that all year round? I think that's perhaps her question. Yes, that's her question. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this the center is actually building a new building, so the old building will be open to IDs, and we want to maybe make an indoor farm there. There are also like serres. I don't really know the English word, but it's like indoor farming, but it's also outside. And yeah, so there are opportunities to grow different kind of crops. Of course, it will be seasonal, so you won't have every crop every month, but that's how it goes with local shops.
All right, Matthias, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. Really great idea. I really like it. However, I have one question. Have you had a chance to look into the acceptance at the local community level? I work a lot with persons with disabilities, and unfortunately, we still see that yeah, sometimes there is still barriers with accepting services provided by people with disabilities. So did you have a look into this?
Yes, so there are different regions inside of the city of Perm, and you have one artistic region where like a lot of artists live and young people, millennials, and they are like very open to those ideas. They are a more open community, and that's where we actually want to plant our supermarket. So we have to choose like the right region, because of course you have some very conservative regions as well, but our contact person assured us that if we choose that kind of region, the people will be open to it. And that's part of our plan as well, to make people aware of it. So hopefully we can maybe open a second supermarket in a different region.
Nice access point. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. A quick question or no? All right, Robbie, you get to pick the next object.
2 left.
I will pick the red ball.
Okay, so this one, and this is number somewhere, but this is for team number 5. There's a 5, small 5 there.
All right, team 5.
All right, so can I start?
Yes.
Yes. So hi and welcome everyone. In the short time that we have with you today, we want to take you along in our journey of how we created our Podroski Getaway, a social support system for teenagers with a drug dependence in Dobrianka, Perm. Just a minute, sorry, technical issues. Well, our team consists of 5 young social entrepreneurs that are really ready to make a change and a visible change, as you can see on the slide. And the organization that we're working together with is based in Dobrianka in Perm. It opened in July 2020, and teenagers from the ages 10 to 17 can follow rehabilitation courses there for 3 months, including psychological help and family or parent-child bonding sessions. Now, the problem is that when they leave this center, they go back to their old and bad environments, and they often have financial troubles and family problems, which makes it very hard for these teenagers to stay on the right path. So all the hard work they did is kind of lost. And also in Perm, there's very little towns as well that have 0 to no opportunities. So it's very hard for them to set goals for the future.
So we would like to share a short background story of a 40-year-old girl in the Perm region that used psychoactive substances for 3 years because of her mom. Her mom has already had bad habits such as smoking, which led the girl smoking also on an early age. The girl is currently getting help and is staying at the rehab center since her mom has a negative impact on the education of the girl, and she also can provide due to the low income. That's the reason why we came up with the Podroski Getaway, in order to find a way to help these teenagers, since the story of the girl has impacted us in a positive way, to find a solution for these teenagers.
For our solution, we took elements from the Scouts movement and social entrepreneurship, creating weekends for teenagers to look forward to, and creating extra curriculums and a sense of responsibility. We don't want the institution to be just another rehab center, but a part of the community. We want to make everything easy. Eliminate the stress and how might they get there. There will be a bus that picks up every teenager at a designated stop in the different towns in Perm that takes them to Dobrianka for the exciting weekend ahead. The weekends will consist of team building activities such as arts and crafts designs, gardening, sports, outdoor activities, and inspirational sessions given by local businesses. Certain weekends will also be designated for parent and child bonding. We look at the benefits and value added to 3 parties: the teenagers, parents, and community. Certain weekends, the teenagers will host bake sales, sales of the arts and crafts, and vegetable and fruit gardening products. The money that is made from this will be used for food hampers and gift bags or gift vouchers for each household to take home with them. We see that sometimes as parents, they sometimes sit with the emotional burden of not being able to provide for their kids. And this often results in negligence and parents turning to psychoactive substances. We want to eliminate the scarcity that families face and the true cost of not having enough. For teenagers, the outcomes will be youth development, leadership skills, development of self-confidence, ethics, leadership skills, citizenship, and money skills. We want to give these teenagers a place to flourish into responsible and motivated young entrepreneurs, and give them a place to have fun like kids and make money like adults, and they can collect badges and stickers for their achievements and milestones. This program will work because this is a governmental institution, first of all, and there's a budget available. But the teenagers' sales and donations from the community, raffles, will finance these weekends and the course local business, and of course local businesses will need to get involved. If you would like to find more information, please go to our website link that describes our solution more in detail, or contact any one of us. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments? Yeah, Paul?
Yes, hello. Thank you for your nice presentation. I was just wondering, how are you going to create that movement? Because you're talking about a movement, but it's not there yet. So what's your strategy?
So as we said, that the institution is very new. It started this year during the COVID pandemic. But so currently the institution takes 22 teenagers for the program. And these are the teenagers that are going to be our customers. So every teenager or this group of teenagers that leave will be our customers. And we will also notify them when they leave that this is what we offer, and also to the parents.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Other questions? Other thoughts? Is there a question in the chat? All right, just feedback.
Yes, Tamira, I can see a question. That's why we provided our link to our website as well, where you can see a bit more in depth what the program consists of. So if you'd like to check that out, the website's available, or I can also put it in the chat box. Yeah, put it in the chat. That's a good idea. Thanks. No problem. Thank you.
All right, good hustle. Any other questions? Or comments? Yeah, Therese?
I'm just wondering about these cultural values in Russia. How do you think it impacts? I heard you say you were going to talk to their parents. Do you think that these students in this particular program already actually have relations with the parents that you're going to link with to get them further? Or do you think these are students that have disassociated with their parents?
Yes, our contact person has notified us that one of the problems is the environment that these teenagers come from, their home environment, and also this disconnect between the parent and the child. So the institution currently, during the rehab courses, they do try and get parents involved by having sessions with them. So that's why we have looked at, the burden that parents have as well. And that's why we make everything available, the bus that picks them up and brings them to the location, because that's also one of the problems that the parents have at coming to the institution during the rehab center courses. So we have a bus available that brings them there to try and also get them involved. So we're trying to eliminate all the barriers that are there for them to not come or join these sessions. Mrs. Baptiste?
Oh, that was a good answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Baptiste.
What would be the capacity?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
What would be the capacity of teenagers that you would be able to accommodate there?
Because everything's quite new, they also don't know how everything works right now. But the institution allows 22 teenagers. Right now, they would have 22 teenagers in the institution, if I'm not mistaken. So because everything's quite new, we don't really have the exact numbers for the course once they leave the rehab center. Our contact person just said that, responded, that the idea can be realized, which is good news.
Yeah, sounds very good. All right, I think we have one more presentation left. So who is the final star?
You should see there is a number 7 there.
Should we choose?
All right, team 7.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Gary will put up the presentation.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, then I will start. Hello,
Right.
colleagues and friends. Today we will be presenting the Harmony Experience. My name is Ruby and these are my teammates, Gary, Luca, and Sonali. We come from different countries, from Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Portugal, and Nepal. Together we have medical, social development, and business background with experience working with persons with disabilities. Now imagine that you are a teacher and life is good. One day, you have an accident and you become permanently disabled. You are now bound to a wheelchair. In Ukraine, people with disabilities are invisible. You lose your job, employers won't hire you, you are a financial burden on your family. You feel depressed and even suicidal. You want to work, you want to be seen, you have to learn how to live in a world of disabilities. In Europe, 40 million or 5.4% of the population are persons with disabilities. That equals to 4 times the Belgian population. In Ukraine, there are 2.6 million persons with disabilities, which is around 6% of the total population. However, only 0.5% of the persons with disabilities were employed in 2015. So poverty rates are increasing in persons with disabilities. Now, therefore, our problem is how might we support people with disabilities in Ukraine to gain competences needed to be employed. And this is mainly due to the lack of employment for persons with disabilities. But why is this still a problem despite a law to employ 4% of the persons with disabilities in your workforce? We found out that the biggest problems in persons with disabilities are the lack of business skills, psychological and mental preparedness, such as low self-esteem, coping problems, and lack of motivation. But if we see abilities instead of disabilities, we could create possibilities.
So how might we do that? We are proposing to offer business and psychological training to teach the necessary skills to start and operate their own business. The business training will contain marketing, basic accounting, business law, and financial skills, whereas the psychological training will include emotional intelligence, leadership, and critical thinking skills. The course will be 48 hours of intense training for over 2 months. It will also include field visits, practical exercises to start and run a micro business, and motivational sessions. Now talking about financials, if we do one course with 15 participants with a fee of 125 euros per participant, the net income will be 519 euros. We all agreed that 20% of the net income will be donated to one of our participants to start their own business. When talking funding, we are proposing the initial financial support from the government, private sector, student fees, UN educational programs, and consultancies to corporations wanting to comply with government regulations. As a social impact, we expect that our intervention will result in PWD's increase of self-confidence, being financially independent, more integrated in society, and more highly motivated. And this initiatives complies with SDGs 1, 3, 4, 8, and 10. And this will be the big impact. So seeing abilities instead of disabilities leads to making the invisible visible. thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Questions, comments? No thoughts from anyone? Maybe that's a perfect presentation. Everything has been said.
There's a question from Milana. How to motivate people to be employed?
So if I can take over, the answer for this would be as people with disabilities, as they feel constrained because of their condition, they want to become financial free. They want to become independent. So that indeed, we believe it's the biggest motivation for them to start the program, to start studying about how to get out of their financial dependence. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Other questions, thoughts? Yeah, Philip?
Yes. It's a similar question as the previous one. Can you explain as a team, how did you explore the cultural values of the community you're working for?
Can you repeat, please, Philip? What did you ask?
You're coming from completely different background, cultural background. How did you went into the culture of Ukraine? How did you explore your society, your community?
Yes, thank you for your question. We talked a lot with Natalia and Olena. They are from Ukraine, and they work in the medical field. So we talked a lot to them and to a woman who is in a wheelchair who experienced a fall and became disabled. So we talked to her and also to two other people with a disability. So they explained to us what you asked.
I think we also looked at some studies on persons with disabilities and employment in the Ukraine, and we found out some of the issues that persons with disabilities experienced in the Ukraine. Yes, Mrs. Batiste.
Yeah.
I saw that you mentioned data from 2015. Was there not more updated data to make a decision on in terms of those same statistics you talked about? Or is it that is the most recent available out of Ukraine?
Well, we did a search. Data on persons with disabilities generally is not readily available. It's not updated, and especially in the Ukraine. So it was the most recent that we could have put our hands on, but I'm sure there may be others, but we were not able to get it. Given the strides made in the last few years by movements promoting persons with disabilities and human rights and the signing on of the charter, we expect it to have increased, but I don't think it would have been significantly more than what it was in 2015. There's a lot of resistance in the Ukraine by employers to hiring persons with disabilities still.
And just in addition to what Gary explained, so and we tried to be as more authentic possible. So we prefer to use least updated but reliable sources than sources that maybe have some errors and some fake numbers. So yes, we try to use more older sources, but at least they are reliable. Yes.
All right, Matthias, last question and a quick answer from the team, please.
Thank you. Maybe it's more common. I really like the ambition. However, if you would really go into implementation, my recommendation is not to underestimate the complexity of this employment issue with persons with disabilities, which is a highly complex issue that is tried to be dealt with at various levels. So go back again into research and look again into the feasibility of implementation if you really would like to go to. So that's just a comment, but I really like the ambition. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we've had all the presentation. Thank you for the teams. We have we have 35 minutes left in our session. So what's going to happen next is that Ulla-Maija is going to post
It's already
links.
here.
All right, Ulla-Maija has already done.
So in the chat, you can find a link to the channel of each team. And so what we are asking now is that please teams go and start a meeting in your channel. And then if you want to go and, make any questions, have any discussions with the team, just copy the link from there and then allow teams to open that page for you. And you will be going directly to the channel of that team. And then you will see there is a meeting going on. So just join that meeting and you will go and discuss with the team. But let's have perhaps 30 seconds for the teams first to start their discussions on the channel. So teams, please go to your channels and
one question before that. Are we going to come back here or are we going to finish in the?
Yeah, with the visitors, we are going to finish after they have had the discussion. But with the participants of the course, come back here ladies at 1:45. Yeah, 1:45.
All right, so we have 20 minutes for those discussions. All right.
There's still a hand. Okay. Okay.
And please ask if you have problems. This is the first time we're trying to do this way of moving people to the different channels.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
If we manage with this, I will be some kind of wizard.
Yeah.
This thing.
And that'll be the magic every time.
Yes, magic.
Ulla-Maija, I think you're still a wizard. But so let's start there. But if you look at the chat, then it's saying in my screen the chat is in the channel meetings is only available to team members. So I think the external visitors are not.
All yes, actually, because I haven't added you to the teams.
Okay.
You are a new one. So wait a second, I will add you there, and then you can get the access there. Just need to get. Can you give me quickly your email address to the chat so that I can add you there?
Yeah.
Just write it there so I can copy it and.
No, I can't write. That's the problem.
I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Or Philip can do that. So yeah. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry. You fix it as a wizard.
Yes, but I think it's really hard to be perfect. So
Any excuse is good.
Yeah. It's also nice not to be perfect, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some imperfection.
Yeah.
It would be really boring to be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Paul, while we are here, how are you? How are you doing? How's life? Do you have a camera? Put your camera on. Would be nice to see you actually, if you're still here.
I am here. I'm still here.
Paul, I added you to the team.
I'm
so
good.
Okay. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Life is good. It's wet and cold here, but we're doing fine.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So Philip already put you there. So if you want to join the team, you can go on. Yeah. It was really nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Ciao, ciao.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So Philip?
Only when you're added, you can see the chats later than that. But okay, it seems Paul found the way. Okay.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah, because I actually add. Yeah, I didn't add Paul because I didn't know he was actually coming here or something.
Therese, were you able to move to?
It's a project with Perm, Ulla-Maija. That's the reason.
Oh, right. Okay.
You're still on mute.
Perm. Yeah.
Students had me today for 3 hours, and then I came into this, so I give them a break.
Okay. Well, thank you for your question.
There are some students there from Trinidad, so I think people from Trinidad is better not to have a former Minister of Health in the chat there with them. So I'll just stay out.
Yeah. Yeah, but thanks for having really good questions, Teresa.
That's not a problem. Yeah.
Matthias, you're still there?
Matthias, were you able to move?
I have the same problem as Paul, but as I have to move out anyhow now at 6:30, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody and a nice program. So let's see. I will be in touch with Philip.
Yes.
Really interesting. Yeah.
Thank you for joining and thank you for the questions.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Having former Minister of Health is actually bad for your health.
Only for your blood pressure. I think otherwise it's good.
But it would be worse if I went into when you all were talking about UN and I said I was a former UN ambassador. Now that would have gotten in. So I just kept quiet. I decided to quit while I was ahead. But I just before I leave, I just want to commend because my mother-in-law is from Finland, so I was just teasing my mother-in-law. I said, I'm seeing Finland, and I know you all love Christmas, and her birthday is Christmas Eve, so I was just teasing her, and I'm like, you are going to wear those antlers for me. I've seen it; it's part of the culture.
You know, you should send your address, and I will show you something. Because I have here extra ones also, just send your address and I will send you these if you want. So nice surprise for your mother-in-law.
Yeah, because my students asked me to come on to it. They invited me last week because I teach them current global issues and management skills. So they were like, could you come see and ask a few questions? I said, you sure you want me there?
And what can I ask you, Teresa, before you leave? Like, what was your impression? It's only, of course, based on this.
I think it was well done by the students. I'm impressed that they were able to keep to the time limit of 4 minutes, because even in internet, when you have professors world-renowned, they can't keep that time limit. The only thing I would suggest to students when they're doing it is try to go out of the comfort zone of only questioning other people in the course from that country, and get a more outside view of what it is, because it can be slightly biased, and those people also know what we're looking for. So just to get a more open view, because again, I've been with as Ministry of Health in Trinidad, we help Ministry of Health in Suriname, and I know how miserable they are and how I was anyone coming to assist. If you're not part of the project, we can block it, because it has to get Ministry of Health approval. So those kind of little things can totally derail a project. So
yeah, and of course it's different in different countries, so I think it was really useful for for the students to know. But of course there's always like some of the ministries involved in when you are planning for education.
Yeah, it depends on the level of the country development and stuff like that. And that's why I asked the question with Russia, because in the cultural, as you all know, with Russia, a lot of those students have a disconnect already with parents. So if you're relying on parental involvement, you're actually setting them up to fail already, because that's part of their problem. So
yeah, but I was also surprised that the students didn't talk about, or perhaps it didn't came to their mind, but they actually have been studying about, for example, there's a study, and I know that they have been reading about the study about how important actually the parents are for for the adolescents in Russia, especially based on the cultural issues there. So yeah, but I think it was, you know, a little bit nervous.
No, but I mean, for them, for the period of time they had 8 weeks to work on it, it was really great. And what I was laughing at too is that when this program was coming on, I was like happy, and I was like, people go, because my course was oversubscribed, and your course starts at 5 o'clock. So they said people would go to your course. But what happened is like 8 of them went to your course, but only 2 dropped my course. And then every time at 5 o'clock, can we leave? We got to go together. It's like, really, people? You know, so like, yeah, but it was interesting. It was really interesting because that area has been, and the thing is, I had asked them, I knew a social entrepreneur who was a professor teaching entrepreneurship, and I only remember today. So I told her about it, but I didn't have the link to send to her. So it was really funny because what I did was that I put her on my camera here, and then she sat here and she was watching it as well.
Nice.
Yeah, because she's from Luxembourg. So she said, because some of the things she asked, because she does that. She actually invests in companies that do social entrepreneurship, you know, and then she said one thing to me, which is true. When the students always in social entrepreneurship, you can't just rely on donations and charity to start up. So again, they need to really think it out because again, a lot of them come from countries where governments take care of their citizens. But the countries we are seeking to help, the governments don't take care of their citizens. So that is a complex issue in itself.
Yeah.
But I've bored you all enough and I shall go my way now.
Thank you for joining. It was pleasure to have you here. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
So they've done a good presentation today.
I missed Therese Batiste because I had to do a video for UNESCO, and person could have done it within that time. So I just came back at the tail end, so I missed what went on. What did you think about presentations?
Can you ask again, Freddie? I couldn't hear what you were saying.
What do you think about the presentations?
Well, to be honest, I think they were really, really great ones.
Mm-hmm.
When thinking about, you know, how short, you know, how well, I think this has been really challenging course for the participants. So I found them really good, but I need to go and see the record, you know, really to think about that, because what happens to me is that I'm always nervous when, you know, when there are the presentations. I can't really focus on the presentations then. So
yeah, a lot of transformation actually, because we have seen them presenting last time and also it's so much improved.
I felt that way as well. I felt there was a great improvement from what we saw before.
Yeah.
And and I find that there are some good projects there that, you know, could develop further, you know, into something.
Even though that is not so important for us, the most important thing is the learning and the process itself, not the end result. But of course, if the end result is also, you know, great, then of course it's even better.
Yes, but the thing about it is that I find that through the process, you can have mindset change taking place, which is really what you want. Because for any change to happen, you know, people make change, not a system or a structure. It's people make the change.
True.
That's true.
I find the program is impacting on people. So there's always possibilities once people are impacted.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest challenges changing people's mindset in, you know, depending on others to depending on themselves, like making them independent, because it's really hard when you talk about change. People just talk about government doing it or NGOs or donation agencies doing it.
Yeah. And still there were some teams that said, but government will fund it, which is almost always the wrong answer.
Yeah.
For now, people are not coming back. The visitors, I think they are leaving. I don't know. They don't gather
Oh,
anymore.
you guys are there. Oh, that's the orange room.
Yeah, the audience. I'm not sure.
This is Shushan, the different orange room.
Okay.
Because we're in the different campus.
But you were talking about orange room last time in a meeting. That's why I remember that.
Yeah.
But students will gather again on this A forum to close.
Yeah, students should be coming back, or participants should be coming back in.
Okay.
In 7 minutes or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Do we need to have the recording still on?
No. I thought I have an opportunity to thank everyone, but it doesn't matter. It's
yeah. Sorry.
not really not needed.